Good morning. And today is Wednesday, October 28th. This is the Loving What Separates Us course, sponsored by I Am Heart, and part of my own personal mission to heal the wounds in the heart of America. So thank you for being here with us. And as we were just chatting beforehand, today's topic is going to be voter suppression and voter fraud. So let's just stir. Let's just stir up that for us. So when I first saw that phrase voter suppression, I just sank. And I'm sure many others do, as I got that flavor beforehand. And the same with voter fraud. I have friends that are just terrified that the day or two before the election, boxes of ballots are going to be printed up and just mailed. And they'll be counted, and before anything can be done about it, the candidate will be in. Or that all sorts of illegal people, illegal aliens. I saw a sign the other day that said, no human is illegal. Wow, that's really nice, but that's the phrase we tend to use in this culture. But anyway, and then the voter suppression side. And this goes all the way back, right after the Civil War, all the laws in the South, that got passed to suppress the black vote. And you still have it. All the rules and regulations that on one level are there to suppress, to protect against voter fraud, but on another level, it just makes it hard for people to vote. So just start checking in. Voter suppression. It feels like a massive injustice on the level of our culture, on the level of our society. And it doesn't go on just in our country, in countries all around the world. Voter fraud, voter suppression. How do we have a democracy when people are not allowed to be heard? So just imagine a whole class of people. Here it could be very legal immigrants. It could be a minority like the African Americans, just systematically deprived of their vote. Systematically being told, you don't count. It's not just the vote. You don't count in America. Just check to see what feelings and energy comes up. On the other side of that is, we've had a lot of voter fraud in this country. I don't know, the ones I'm most familiar with, the ones when I'm alive. Joseph Kennedy apparently bought a lot of votes for John Kennedy. What do we do with this? Allegations of Nixon, voter fraud. Just what do we do with this? And how impotent do we feel in the face of this? The systemic voter suppression, systemic voter fraud. Just welcome the energy up. We want to feel it. Can we all be grateful we can feel these energies to whatever degree we can. I loved it the other day. I think it was with Jean. She'd rather feel her family being bullied and marginalized rather than feel nothing. Can we go to that place where we recognize to feel is to be alive? To not feel is to be numb. A part of us dead. No, we would all choose being alive. All right, enough stirring the pot on this. Let's just start our morning meditation. First, by noticing how we feel, what our state is after the stirring of the pot there, where I'm deliberately trying to generate reactions within us. And noticing that baseline, let's sit up straight, allow our spine to be an antenna, mirroring the axis of the earth, and always in a relaxed manner. And just let's go ahead and say good morning to our hearts, putting our hands over our hearts. And just explore the energy of our hearts. And just notice your state again. What happens just putting our attention on our hearts for a few minutes. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, living in our hearts 24/7. Right now, most of us live somewhere behind our eyes. This class, really this school, is an invitation to move those 16, 18 inches from behind our eyes and our head somewhere down into our hearts. Seems like such a short distance. And on one level, so simple. On another level, such a new habit to create. So let's let our hands down. Let's say good morning to our breath. And let's explore our respiratory system, our lungs, our nasal passages, our bronchial tube. And just notice what's there this morning without judgment, just exploring, noticing. And again, notice your breathing, notice your state. What happens when we just sit with our breath, without trying to change it, just being with it? Really, we're just loving it. Just notice how quickly begin to deepen, become quieter, more connected. Now let's move into the full breath. Full inhale, full exhale. Traditionally, we start with the exhale, pulling our abdominal muscles all the way back towards our spine. When we do this full breath, we make our breathing conscious. It frees up that part of our subconscious mind that used to regulate it. And that immediately gets busy, starting to pull up stuff to be processed, to be transformed, to be healed. It's what it does. It's what we do. Experience, we integrate that experience, and then we let go what we don't need. And again, just check what's your experience when we flood our bodies and our minds with life force, with energy through the breath. Less alert, more alert. Busier mind, quieter mind. Less energy, more energy. Less compassion, more compassion. More inner directed, more willing and able to bless. Many, many axes like this, continuums, we can measure. And whatever we experience is perfect. Even if it feels like nothing is happening. It doesn't matter. All we are doing is noticing and exploring. What's happening today? Now let's move into our more formal heart rhythm meditation. And as always my tradition, I give thanks to Susanna and Paran for revitalizing, reawakening, re-enlivening this practice of the Desert Fathers and Desert Mothers, and teaching it in such a way that anyone of any religious background can accept it. So usually this means exhaling to the count of 8 heartbeats, inhaling to the count of 8 heartbeats. But whatever count is right for you. Keeping of that full deep breath, full inhale, full inhale, full exhale. Be sure to welcome the name of your heartbeat if you have one. And always feel free to go directly into heart breathing, where we inhale, bring the air in through our nose, down into our heart, or lungs. But the stream of energy that rides along with the breath we just pull directly into our hearts. And back out, we fill up our hearts on the inhale. We exhale that energy on the exhale. And let's just do this silently for a few minutes. And again, just notice. Most of us, I think, will notice we're going deeper as we go through all these processes. It's very valuable to notice it. For one, it gives us great confidence in our practice. Yesterday, we moved into a review of the dimensions of the heart. So today, I'd like to do a little review of our elemental breathing practices before we move into the incredible air breath. Might guess there that I'm sort of partial to the air breath, and that's true enough. Tomorrow, we may be moving into new territory for many people. Tomorrow, we're going to be exploring the ether breath. It's a very, very profound breath. And I'm just saying that as a tease, but it's really profound. So I encourage you to explore it with me. Mostly we focus on the first four elements: earth, water, fire, and air, because we're so familiar with them. So let's just shift into the earth breath for a minute or so. And if you recall, with the earth breath, we breathe in and out of the nose. We inhale, fill up our hearts or lungs. We exhale and we move the energy down through our body, through our legs, through our feet, down into the earth, as far down as is comfortable. And then we inhale back up, still to our basic heart rhythm meditation. I'll say 8 heartbeats in and out. And we fill our breath and energy back up to our heart. So it's the heart going down, down, down for 8 beats. And then the energy of our heart pulling back up the energy of the earth, filling our bodies up to our heart. We may notice the energy of the earth spreads out. And exhale back down. Inhaling, bringing it back up, all through the nose, staying in touch with our heartbeat. Fill up our heart. And again, notice the spreading out quality of the earth. Just keep going with this. You may notice a yellowish brown color for those who are visual. And as this energy comes up and fills us, and spreads out, we may notice the qualities associated with the earth element. Patience, perseverance, strength, steadiness, solidity, fabulous qualities. As patient as the earth. And we're just doing it briefly here, so let's move on to the water breath. With the water breath, we inhale through our nose, fill up our heart. We exhale with slightly open lips, blowing downward or inward if we want to direct the cooling quality of water to parts of our body, to organs or joints, bones, whatever it is. And we welcome this water like water evaporating out of the oceans and lakes, way up to the celestial heavenly realms. And then we inhale through the crown, we pull in this celestial water energy, filling up our heart to the count of 8 heartbeats. And exhaling through slightly opened lips. The water flows through us, out. It's almost as though we inhale, fill up with water from above. That water comes down as we inhale. We exhale through the slightly open lips. It's almost as though we create a lake of water, an ocean of water around us, with our head out, continuing with this beautiful, smooth, cooling quality of water. Washes away any wounds, any obstacles, anything in the way of our being this liquid, flowing, flexible, adjustable, adaptable, moving around obstacles, moving through them, under them, and love, compassion, kindness. These are all the qualities of this beautiful water element. Pull the energy up, and we inhale into our hearts. Fill up our heart with water energy. Exhale through slightly open lips. And take a moment to contrast your experience with the water element with that of the earth element. Is there a temperature difference? Is there an energetic difference with the water moving down and the earth spreading out? Do you notice a difference in the qualities? Just mentioning those qualities enlivens them within us. Flow versus solidity. The peace of the earth versus the love of water. In all these processes, we are becoming more fluent with the divine qualities of the heart. So now let's move into the fire element in this review. Inhaling through slightly open lips, filling up, really sort of almost going back towards the back of the spine as we breathe in into the solar plexus. Hold it there. Let the heat and light build up. If we notice that beautiful orange flaming coals on our solar plexus. And then let the light move up into our heart and exhale through our nostrils. Inhaling to the count of 8 heartbeats into our solar plexus. Hold it there just to where it's comfortable. Let the heat and energy build up. Exhale through our nostrils, through the heart. Let the light rise up. As we continue this breath, could we welcome the flame of truth, the flame of joy. I may not have mentioned joy yesterday. When we fully embrace this fire element, this moving upward energy, it's uplifting, joyous, fresh, enthusiastic, passionate, justice. We feel the burn of injustice, fire, And after just a few minutes of this, contrast your state with the earth element, with the water element. These elements become our friends. They become ways of interacting in the world, critical to the archetypes, the personalities. These elements sit at the very threshold of creation, and creation is expressed through them. Everything is a mix of these 5 elements. As we become friends with these elemental energies, we connect at a very deep level with every part of creation. Perhaps take in what that means. These elemental energies are a doorway to our connection to all life, all creation. They are a doorway to unity, a doorway to harmony, love, beauty. And I don't know if I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One of the reasons I became so committed to expanding and exploring my heart is when I first took the 101 course, the basic introductory course. I had this experience seeing as clearly as I could read a Sunday newspaper or see a video on a computer screen. The 4 chambers of the heart connecting to the 4 qualities, the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. I could just see it. And I asked, but what about ether? Where's that? In this vision, the periocardial sac suddenly lit up brightly, and I knew this sac is holding the space of the other 4 elements, the sac that surrounds and protects the heart. So as we explore these elemental energies, we are exploring our heart. I actually asked to see which chamber correlated to which element, but I was not given that answer. I don't know why. So now we've experienced this review. Took longer than I thought. Sorry, it's okay. Now let's go into this beautiful air element. And with the air element, we inhale and exhale through slightly open lips. So just begin to do that. Again, keeping our lips slightly open, or keeping our heart rhythm meditation going on. And just notice, again, a very cooling breath. And the energy and the movement of the air element is just like the movement of the wind. It goes everywhere, blows here, blows there. We sort of use the image of this wind blowing here and there, sort of like lightning, zigzagging everywhere. Notice we do not see the air, we just breathe it in and out, unless it's very polluted. You can see pollution. But this is one of the great qualities of air. The air element is clarity. When we can't find a solution to something, sometimes we just use air breath for a while. And our life becomes clear. Paran says, and I'm sure he's right, Paran was this computer programmer, a very talented one for many decades. And he says, computer programmers tend to fall into the air breath. He says they don't know why. It's because of the clarity it brings them as they're writing code. Another thing the air breath does for us is it gives us inspiration, great quality of being inspiring, develops our intuition just because we begin to notice the faintest expressions of the divine within us. And I guess this is the morning where I speak about experiences because I want to open up the possibility for each one of us to fully embody each of these elements. So I was on a retreat with Susanna and Paran on the elements, and Susanna was leading an element the second morning. First morning she did earth. No, probably first, I don't know which morning it was, doesn't matter. But she led the air breath meditation for like 45 minutes or so. And in that, I became so completely aligned with the air element that I became one with the being that represents the air element for the earth. Suddenly I found myself fully expanded all over the earth. And things like the jet stream, these various currents were my arteries, were my circulatory system. And I could see the role of the trees. I think that the wind blows the trees, and it does, but the reverse is true. The trees shake and move as they warm, and that creates vast winds coming out of the forests. I later read about this scientific research showing that, but I saw it there. The other thing I realized on a very personal level, and this is true for each and every one of us, is that every time I breathe, I was pulling in this noxious, almost toxic oxygen, pulling it into my body and giving out this great life-giving carbon dioxide to feed all the plants. And I realized, because I had a big question about service at the time. You talk about inspiration and clarity here. I realized that just by breathing, every one of us is a perfect servant, serving the animal kingdom, the vegetable kingdom. It's so effortless. We serve in our sleep. And service shifted from something that I thought, oh, you do it because you have to, because it's a good thing to do, because you get good karma, etc., 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 to realizing the only true service is the natural expression of what we do in an effortless and normal way. And I say describe this whole experience. By the way, I also realized in this whole system that each human body is like a capillary exchanging oxygen for carbon dioxide. Just like in our own body, the capillaries take the oxygen and when it becomes carbon dioxide, move it into our vein system to expel. But each one of us clearly capillaries in this vast organism of Mother Earth. Actually, an extraordinary role for each one of us. You see it in this light. Inhale through the lips, exhale through the lips. I describe this experience with an invitation to each one of us that we so totally merge with these elemental energies, these elemental beings, that we align perfectly and become one with them. And allow their wisdom, their intelligence, their energy to flow through us so perfectly that our will becomes their will becomes our will. And we live in perfect attunement with nature. This is how we can do this. Not on the level of the mind, although the intention is powerful, but on the level of the experience of these energies. And now actually I suggest at this point we end the earth breath and just go back to normal breathing. As we just spend a few minutes from this expanded, clear state, filled with inspiration, and welcome up the energy of voter suppression and voter fraud into our hearts, into our being. We may have to move back. That's why I stir the pot in the beginning. Might move back to when we first started speaking this morning. How do you feel when you think about voter suppression? What energy comes up? I am so expanded, I don't feel a thing right now. Hate to say that. I don't know how you're doing. But I'm just going to assume, because it's such a heavy energy, there, it's starting to come in now. Can you welcome up any deadness, any heaviness, any disliking, any sense of mass injustice? How do you feel about the Black community, the poor community, the immigrant community not being heard? We welcome that energy up and just love it. Could we allow our hearts to move into compassion for those who are not heard, those who are not counted? Check to see if there's any anger, fear, or frustration coming up. If the vote is suppressed, the wrong person could easily win. This is a fear on one side of the country. Our job in our exalted state is to just welcome up the feelings and let our hearts process them, heal them. Not that we want them to disappear. We want people to feel free to use these energies to move towards social justice. A very appropriate use of energies. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we are living in our hearts and these energies do not overwhelm and overshadow us. To where it's we using the energies rather than the wound of these energies devastating us. How powerful can we be when we're sitting in fear and anger? Are we not far more powerful, functioning at a deep level, holding an intention there for justice and truth, for love, clarity, compassion? Now that's one side of this issue, and the other is the voter fraud. And I think it's fair to say both sides have passionate individuals who feel that the end justifies the means and are willing to commit voter fraud. That's why every election there seems to be stories of hundreds and thousands of people voting who are dead. And the votes are counted. How just is this? Where is the justice in this? Welcome up the feeling. Where is the ideal of democracy in this? Notice both these topics have a depressing quality. Like our hearts are depressed. And we're left with this feeling of impotence. What can I do? They are going to do this no matter what. So welcome up this energy. And could we greet it with our hearts? Greet it with our hearts. All this disempowerment, does it help us? It's really just a wound. Could we welcome it up? Love it. Hear it. Hear the pain of it. Feel it. And just let it transform into personal and universal power. Let it transform into peace. Could we allow ourselves to be beings of great peace and power? That actually feels good, doesn't it? Could we make that decision again, that intention again? Would it be okay with us if we were beings of great peace and power? Check to see if there's any resistance to being powerful, any fear. Just be with it, love it. Just for the moment, set it aside, let it be, and come back to our intention. Would it be okay for us to be beings of great peace, power? And from this place of peace and power, can we set forth a vision of fairness and justice in our elections? Imagine everyone can vote, everyone does vote freely, willingly, happily, and it is completely fair, completely honest election. It's just a picture for us to hold in our hearts, an ideal. Could we collectively empower this ideal? And then just let it go. Let it go. And allow the forces of nature to fulfill this intention. And with that, let's just gently come back into our hearts. Feel our heartbeat if we've lost it. Feel our feet on the earth. Notice who we are as beings of peace and power, love, compassion, all these divine qualities. And just do our little short walkthrough through the day as this very spiritual being with our feet fully on the ground. Who do we meet? What possibilities enter our day? How much love can we express? What blessings can we give? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, work, friends, family, wherever we go. And with that, let's just take a minute or so to come out of this meditation. I always want to be gentle. We've been meditating 50 minutes or so. We can afford to take a minute or two to come out. Just open your eyes when you're ready. So this ends our formal meditation for the formal part of the program. Thank you very much for adding your hearts to ours. I see you there, Susie. Give us a second. We'll get you, believe me. Thank you for raising your hand. So everyone's free to leave. We can always love it if you stay, but I understand we all have lives to live. The reason I do the format like I do, just for a month rather than some sort of ongoing thing, is I find we go much deeper in longer sessions. And I don't see that being for everyone a feasible thing to do all year long, day in, day out. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, now's the time when people can share gains or work on things that they're still stirred up about, whether it's this topic on hand or things in their lives. And our dear friend Susie has already raised her hand. Can you unmute yourself, Susie, and say good morning to us?
Good morning, everybody, and Stephen and everybody. This is both personal and about the election. I've been realizing over the course of all this craziness this past, 6 months, whatever, more like 4 years, but that it's very personal to me. And not that my family or I am perfect in any way, but a lack of integrity just really bothers me. It just goes inside me and I feel creeped out. And
it's creeped out. We welcome that one.
Creeped out, like slimed and, insects eating in, and it's just physically so uncomfortable. And this, the voter fraud and suppression and the feeling that our democracy could be lost, and it just like poof. And then, like I say, I don't claim to be perfect in any way. So, but just the thing that we've gotten so anyway, so I would like to work on this. The fact that we've gotten blasé about, 20 more lies coming out today from the top of our government or whatever. And
so good. Let's just go there. It's perfect. Yeah. I love the graphicness here, the insects, the creeping out,
the slime. And I have someone very close to me on the totally opposite side and sees reality like it's a different planet. So
isn't that amazing how that goes?
Yeah.
Because we all have
Yeah.
friends we all have friends that see it differently. And I mean, I just tell you, inside this group, they're probably hiding out, but there are many people who, are have different views than other people.
Yeah. It's like a whole different reality.
Whole different
And
reality. Everybody lives in their
and
own bubble, and it's craziness, and it's there. So let's all go along with Susie. Where are you creeped out in your life? Where do you feel sliminess? Where do you feel insects creeping in? Where do you just feel vast discomfort? And can you pull up that feeling? And I'm going to ask the obvious question here, Susie. Do you like this feeling, these feelings?
no, it's awful.
Awful, isn't it? So who is being punished with these feelings? Are you punishing the other people?
No, we can't talk. We just don't talk about it. It's no way.
No, no, no. I understand. I'm saying when you have these feelings, does this impact them or does this impact you?
It seems to just impact me
Yes.
because they're just certain they're right. Of course, I am. I I
Right.
am to some extent
Right.
too.
So, so Susie, this feeling, I had to write down a note for a possible topic.
Well, can I just throw this in? When you said, because this is part of it, you said, can we hold a picture of the ideal of fair elections and so on, and then let it go? And I was with you through that, but then you said, and let nature fulfill this intention. And then I lost you because I thought, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And and maybe the whole reason we have this president and all this stuff happening is to destroy our current institutions so they can just reform from scratch. And maybe this is just the greatest thing ever.
It's good. So
So,
Susie,
okay.
we want to go back to your feeling. Okay.
Okay.
You see how, you know, it's easy for you, you're very articulate about it, to go from these deep feelings and that sends
Right
up
up to the mind.
right up to the mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the feelings, the creepy, slimy, and everyone go back there. And these feelings, can you just be with them, Susie? Is that okay with you?
Yes, yes.
Can you be with them some more? And everyone else go to your own feelings on this. Just be with them. Yes. Now, do you notice, Susie, that there's a part of you that wants to control your feelings?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yes. And does wanting to control your feelings give you control, or is it a lacking feeling?
It's like looking for a fix and it just spins in circles, oh, maybe if I could trust, or maybe.
Right. So that's perfect. That's perfect. So that, can't find it, lost, whirling around. Can you just get in touch with that?
Yes. Jumping
Welcome,
out of my skin, maybe that would work.
just welcome that up. And on a scale of 10 down to 0, how intense is that feeling? That lacking feeling. It's can't control it.
It's about an 8 right now.
8. And it could be can't control the elections if some people want to go with that one. So again, I'm going to ask the obvious question. Do you like these feelings?
No.
No. So does not liking them make them go away?
No.
Doesn't. Would you be willing to try something else here?
Yes.
Yes. And that is instead of pushing them away, wishing they'd go away, do you just say yes to them? Yes,
Yes.
you have a right to exist. Could you give these
Yes.
feelings right to exist? You
Yes.
might as well, because they're there, aren't they?
Yes.
And when we don't give them that right, we're arguing with what's there, right?
Yes. I'm just letting myself
Yes,
jump up and down and make the earth, you know, shake right now, letting those feelings just go.
yes. So just let them go. And we let them go, not by trying to force them, but by honoring and healing them. And we allow that energy to become realigned with the force and direction and intelligence of nature. That be okay with you?
Yes.
And we do it just by being with that energy, moving into a place of love and peace. Now, Susie, who allowed that energy into your system? Was that you that let that in?
Well, I guess I
Guess so, right?
guess so. I mean, there's
Yes,
nobody else standing here
that's
with
right.
a
That's
hand
right.
on the door.
So, can you acknowledge that you let this energy in and that you have the authority to let this energy reorganize itself?
Yes.
So can you allow yourself to realize that you are not the victim of this energy? That be okay? That you are,
Yes. I guess I can realize that I don't have to be the victim. Right now I feel like it, but
so get that feeling, that victim feeling, and that victim feeling doesn't help with this energy, does it?
no.
Would it be okay with you if you stepped into your role, your natural role, as having authority over your feelings? Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it's you who has the feelings don't have you, right?
Yes. As long as I also give myself time to process the feelings. I don't think it's going to be instant.
That's perfect. That's fine. So just feel your heart. Feel your heart.
Yes.
Okay. And just be in your heart. Is your heart bigger than these feelings?
Yes.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. So could you just be with these feelings? Love them. They're like lost energies that have been stored inside of you. Is it okay if they go to their rightful place in creation?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have to figure out where that is.
Oh, no figuring it out. And on that scale of 10 down to 0, with 0 being really at peace with these energies, where are you right now?
About a 5.
So we move from 8 to 5 in maybe 3 minutes, okay?
Right.
That's pretty nice, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Would it be okay with you, because you mentioned this earlier, that it's going to take some time? Would it be okay with you if it took as long as it takes for this energy to heal and realign?
Yes.
Yes. And would it be okay with you if you pull up this thought that it's going to take some time and recognize that's just a thought? It may be true, but right now it's just a thought, right?
Yes.
Yes. And to the degree that you can step into your power, you can allow this to be easier, can't you?
Yes.
Yes. Would it be okay with you if you allowed yourself to be just a little bit more powerful?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a novel thought.
Susie,
Yes.
you just love this energy some more and see it as a gift where you can learn and explore the mastery of your energies.
Yes.
Yes. That's a wonderful thought, isn't it?
Yes, that's great.
Yeah. Could you allow this to become less of a trauma and more of a game where you're just going to play and easily allow yourself to learn how to master this energy more easily and more spontaneously. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Good. And now
Yes.
on this scale of 10 down to 0, with 0 being very peaceful, where are you right now?
Um, I guess I'm pretty peaceful because I started just, I don't know, just as you were talking just then to feel curiosity. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yes. Yes. Could you allow
Yeah.
that sense of curiosity and play every time an overwhelming feeling comes up?
Yes.
Could you allow this to be a pathway to your moving into your heart 24/7?
Yes.
Boy, this makes all these energies and wounds great friends, don't they? Doesn't it?
Yes. Assets.
Assets. And
I
could
got a
you,
lot of assets.
and could you be grateful for all these assets?
Yes.
Yes. And could you recognize that on some level, the depth of your heart has been storing all of these energies until you're ready to handle them?
Yes, and I have the support to handle them too.
Yes, you do, don't you? Okay.
So,
I think you're in a pretty good space here.
yeah, that's beautiful.
This
Thank you
is,
so much.
yeah, this is your
Thank you so
homework
much.
to keep continuing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see we had someone voted yesterday. Got that comment up. Congratulations. There's, very sweet vision. Laurie, thank you so much. Is there anyone else who is stirred up by anything or has a gain to share? Could be this topic or it could be something personal.
I have a gain to share if I could.
Yes, we love gains.
When you first introduced the topic this morning, I felt because a certain sense of chaos. And I equated it with the idea that the low, gray, impenetrable sky outside the window, it is oppressive. And that's what I felt, was oppression.
Mhm.
And then I sat with that for quite a long time. But during the breathing, when you started talking about the water breath, I realized that gray, low sky is water. And on the other side of it is a bright blue, endless infinity
Yes.
that's also possible for us to attain, a connection with. And I realized too, and I think this is the real gain, that through these breathing exercises and my short participation in this course, I've realized that internal cultivation, which is something I've been interested in and doing for a long time through Qigong, is more accessible to me sitting down than it is in my usual standing meditation, which is fighting gravity almost all the time. And it's easier to access my imagination and my sense of inspiration about these things. I mean, I begin to see in pictures, and uh, it's it's a wonderful development for me, because I was beginning to feel like I was not going to be able to continue with this other practice. But now I realize that I was just sort of putting the cart before the horse. I have to learn some basic things first.
Yes. These are fundamental and basic. Can I,
Yeah, yeah.
by the way,
And it's wonderful.
thank you so much for this game. And is it okay if we explore and play and build on one of your gains?
Of course.
Good. So when you mentioned this experience of the reperceiving of the gray, cloudy experience of being oppressive, and you go into the water breath, and suddenly your perception shifts and you
Mhm,
realized what's there. It's water and there's light above it and all that sort of thing.
mhm.
This is one of the reasons, and I'm just, it's not so much like deep work here, but just, excuse me, to explore this process. This is one of the reasons why I encourage everyone to share gains, because what the process of realization is a building of small realization upon small realization. And that moving into, we'll just say unity consciousness, that's stage 7 of the 9 steps. Moving into, we just got a bunch of noise coming in here. Did someone unmute
Yeah.
themselves? Yeah, okay. Hang on, let me see if I can see where that's coming from. It may just be the system. Ah, there we go. Moving into unity, that's step 7 of the 9 steps of the heart, is just a subtle shift of perception of the heart. We perceive, the heart starts perceiving, and we start seeing everything in terms of unity rather than in terms of separation. So with the oppressive clouds, you were trying to separate yourself from it. Once it became water and you were welcoming it in, you notice there's more of a connection with it. We can certainly
Mhm.
feel that. I don't know if you saw that yourself,
Yeah.
but
Good.
this is realization upon realization upon realization. And they just seem like small gains, but they're very, very profound and build over time until suddenly we wake up and we have not an intellectual understanding of unity, but an experiential, energetic, spontaneous, and automatic connection with everything in creation.
Mhm.
Robert, that's what I heard when I heard that small gain that was actually really phenomenal. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
getting me to realize that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, they're all these little gains. I don't care how big the gain is, even if it's little, it involves a realization, a subtle shift of perception where we start to see more from the heart.
It made me very happy.
Yeah. Yes.
And it made me feel like I was much more capable of staying in neutral about a lot of things, which is always good, I think.
I have a brother, Robert. This is totally off topic. I have a brother who does a lot of qigong. Really tied into Montauk Chia, if you've ever heard of him.
Oh yeah.
He was the co-author, the ghostwriter of his first 6 books, and the co-author of his 7th book.
Yeah.
He's always talking about internal cultivation. And so this, I've done a lot of the material, but I had exactly the same experience you're having. Is when I got in touch with these fundamental energies, particularly the elemental energies, in my heart, those things really start to work. So
yeah,
I'm with you on that. I'm just totally with you. I wish you great success in that. I really do.
thank you.
Sure. So it's now 10:30. Unless someone's bursting at the bit, I think we'll call it a morning. And I will thank you all very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Very enriching. I wish I could unmute everyone all at once. I don't know how to do that. No, it's probably some control that does that. It's just not smart enough. But anyway, thank you all, and God bless us all. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Hugs.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you all, you guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Okay, let's end this, and God bless us all.